Lads, Angel Reese is currently about to be suspended. She has 7 technical fouls on the season. And if this was last season, in a 44-game season, she would have already been suspended. She would have already...
Angel Reese is walking a dangerous line that could soon see her sidelined from the WNBA. Her recent emotional outbursts on the court, marked by heated reactions and confrontational behavior, have left both fans and analysts stunned. With technical fouls piling up, a suspension is looking more and more likely. And honestly, it's time someone addressed this escalating issue head-on.
Not only does bricklayer Ratchet Reese lead the league in turnovers, she also leads the league in technical fouls with 7. And if she gets one more technical foul, her goofy ass is sitting down to be suspended for a game, man, because she can't control that ratchet bad attitude that I tell y'all about.
Angel Reese has already racked up 7 technical fouls in just 22 games as of July 2025, an alarmingly high number for any professional athlete in such a short stretch. One more and she faced serious consequences. Under current WNBA rules, reaching 8 technicals results in an automatic 1-game suspension. The league actually raised the threshold from 7 to 8 this season to reflect the expanded 44-game schedule, but Reese is still teetering dangerously close to the edge next.
What you got, Angel? We're dribbling. Cross. Fouled. Ooh.
Dribble. A lot of ball on that play. You can see by the facial expression of Marie. She knew she had a lot of ball as well.
I can see it.
Angel Reese going inside. She's using her size and
Somebody
physicality, trying to push Lundakova off the space. Angel Reese has already drawn 3 fouls, and I think
WNBA has increasingly turned a blind eye to players pushing the limits, not just with opponents, but with their own coaches as well. This season, there's been a troubling surge in technical fouls across the league. According to ESPN, players had already received 90 technicals before the All-Star break in one recent season, 11 more than the total from the entire previous year. Coaches weren't far behind either, racking up 30 technicals with nearly 20% of the season still to go.
Genuinely, one of the funny things about this is that her fans are arguing that none of the techs are warranted. They are all warranted. Like, what are we talking about? Every one of these techs are warranted. I'm not joking when I say this. They're like, oh, 4 of her 7 techs have been from double techs. Yeah. Something happens in the game and you square up to your opponent. It's a double tech. And your opponent, you go head to head with your opponent's a double tech. It's never not been a double tech.
The league's head of officiating has attempted to downplay the spike in technical fouls, insisting there's no league-wide push to call more of them, but the numbers tell a different story, and players are clearly taking notice. Dallas Wings center Liz Cambage even called out the officials, claiming she was hit with a technical just for giving a ref a certain look, accusing them of trying to soften the game. That same kind of emotional volatility is now surfacing in Angel Reese's behavior, and it's becoming harder to ignore.
Goofy ass Ratchet Reese out here doing so great on the court with that bad ratchet attitude, racking up tech after tech after tech, man. Fake ass point forward, leading the league in turnovers because she wants to act like she's a point guard so bad, to act like she's better than Caitlin Clark when her ass can't dribble or do anything. How the fuck are you a forward leading in turnovers because you want to try to be a point guard so bad with no...
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Now, speaking of crossing the line with coaching staff, let's talk about that viral moment involving Angel Reese and her assistant coach. During a critical timeout with under 30 seconds left in a tied game against the Washington Mystics, Reese was seen aggressively knocking a clipboard out of assistant coach and Crosby's hands. The incident, caught live on national TV, spread across social media like wildfire, and it raised serious questions about her on-court composure.
people are picking up on is when she is walking over to the bench and she slaps the clipboard out of her coach's hand. And you guys, my honest reaction to this when I first saw it, I was just laughing. It's kind of like the reaction that you're seeing from me right here. I wouldn't look into this too hard. I know it's already become controversial because they're like, oh, if another player did this, there would be think pieces written about it.
Crosby, who also serves as the team's vice president of basketball operations and strength and conditioning coach, was simply trying to communicate with Reese during the timeout when the Chicago Sky star completely lost her cool, the raw emotion. And blatant disrespect in that moment was a shocking display of public defiance, one that revealed deeper fractures within a franchise already hanging by a thread. It was a powerful snapshot of the emotional immaturity that marred Reese's sophomore season, and this wasn't an isolated flare-up. Earlier in the year, Reese openly admitted that she and her teammates were fed up with being constantly cussed out by head coach Tyler Marsh and his staff. That kind of public airing of locker room frustrations points to a serious breakdown in the player-coach dynamic far beyond the usual tensions of competitive basketball. Unfortunately, the emotional spiral seems to be accelerating. The outbursts, the tantrums, the lack of control, these have become hallmarks of Angel Reese's season, whether she's being called the Bayou Barbie, She-Town Barbie, Double-Double Barbie, or whatever new nickname she's adopted. And then there's the all-star stunt. In what many saw as a calculated move, Reese chose the all-star game to unveil her new Reebok Angel Reese One Med-Bounce colorway, timed perfectly to ride the wave of Caitlin Clark's headline-grabbing role. As team captain, Reese knew Clark's presence would draw record-breaking viewership, and she aimed to capitalize on that spotlight. The timing wasn't just strategic, it was transparent. It was a move designed to amplify her brand by aligning with Clark's star power, even if just by proximity, just as Angel Reese was trying to make headlines with the release of her signature shoe. She's now staring down the possibility of a suspension for racking up too many technical fouls, and the timing couldn't be worse. Getting sidelined right after launching a major product would be more than just awkward. It could tank both her shoe sales and her public image, and honestly, it raises a bigger question. Was all of this even necessary? At this stage in her career, shouldn't Angel Reese be able to market herself without relying explicitly or implicitly on a connection to Caitlin Clark? Because let's be real, people still talk about that moment. The trash talk, the rivalry it cemented in WNBA history. But Caitlin Clark was already skyrocketing with or without it. If anyone truly benefited from that clash in terms of attention, it was Reese. Yet, this time around, the contrast was clear the moment Reese tried to seize the spotlight with her Angel Reese One Med-Bounce shoe reveal. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game lacked the electricity she was hoping for. The buzz just wasn't there, largely because Caitlin Clark wasn't. The numbers speak volumes. The game drew 2.2 million viewers, a massive 36% drop from the record-setting 3.44 million the year before. Yes, it was still the second most watched All-Star game in league history, but the dip was directly tied to Clark's absence due to injury. Even ticket prices took a hit, plummeting from $121 to just $64 on TickPick after Clark pulled out. That kind of swing isn't subtle, it's seismic. Indiana Fever games with Clark on the court averaged 16,080 for fans, nearly double the 8,550 to average for games without her. Entire venues are being upgraded just to accommodate the demand she brings. This isn't just star power, it's a cultural movement. Angel Reese is a name. She has charisma, confidence, and a growing fan base. But until she can command attention on her own terms without needing to orbit Clark's gravity moments, like these, risk backfiring. This wasn't a new NBA All-Star weekend. This was a missed opportunity dressed up as a moment. WNBA All-Star Game is supposed to be the marquee event, the star of all stars. All the heavyweights were in town. Aja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brina Sturt, everyone, the rookies, the veterans, the hype, the drama. You had Angel Reese, Miss Me Too, front and center. On paper, this should have been a blockbuster, but then came the news. Caitlin Clark wouldn't be participating due to injury. And just like that, the bottom dropped out. The get-in price for the game in Indianapolis plummeted 48%, falling from $121 to just $64 after Clark's withdrawal. That single headline told a story the league doesn't want to admit. Angel Reese is not Caitlin Clark. Yes, Caitlin has struggled with injuries this season. Quad and groin strains have sidelined her for nearly 40% of Indiana's games, but even at less than 100%, Clark generates more interest and excitement than most players at full strength. 3 different soft tissue injuries in 2025 haven't dimmed her spotlight. She missed the All-Star weekend entirely, and yet her absence was the biggest headline. The truth? Clark's influence extends beyond just the games she plays. In fact, the entire WNBA is benefiting. Non-Clark games this year are averaging 428,000 viewers, a stunning 40% increase from the previous year's average of 301,000. That's the Clark effect in action, a rising tide lifting the entire league. Even when she's not playing, Clark takes over the trap. She doesn't just show up, she expands the space, pulls in more eyes, more fans, more energy. There's no debate anymore. She's the league's biggest draw, the main event, the face of the WNBA's future. Meanwhile, Angel Reese continues to build her brand, but comparisons to Clark don't hold up under scrutiny. The numbers, the buzz, the demand. Clark moves the needle in ways Reese simply hasn't. And let's be blunt, many sponsors, broadcasters, and fans would rather see an injured Caitlin Clark on the sidelines than a healthy Angel Reese on the floor. That's not just opinion, it's backed by cold, hard data and market response. Caitlin Clark hasn't just made an impact, she's reshaped the entire WNBA audience. This isn't hype, it's real. Nielsen demographic data paints a clear picture. Caitlin Clark isn't just boosting viewership, she's transforming the audience. Every major demographic group has seen double-digit increases in viewership, with the most explosive growth coming from young viewers, male fans, and white audiences. On ESPN networks, viewership among girls aged 2 to 17 has surged by a staggering 181%, while the 18 to 34 age bracket is outpacing the league's overall growth by 54 percentage points. This isn't just a spike, it's a shift in who's watching. And why? In contrast, Angel Reese's signature shoe launch, despite being timed around the high-profile All-Star weekend, failed to break through in the same way. Her partnership with Reebok, while meaningful in terms of representation, lacks the cultural penetration of Clark's endorsement deals. The Mebounce branding, though clever, feels reactive, more of a defensive marketing move than the kind of bold, aspirational messaging that drives mass-market success. And if we're being honest, the person who deserves real sympathy in all of this is Caitlin Clark. She brought charisma, professionalism, and genuine magic to the league. Hope, excitement, and a reason for new fans to tune in. But instead of embracing that spark, the WNBA seems to be dimming it, whether intentionally or not. All this talk about women supporting women? The league's actions say otherwise. What's particularly frustrating is the glaring inconsistency in how discipline is handled. Angel Reese has now tallied 7 technical fouls, resulting in just $1,800 in fines, and yet continues to show emotional volatility on the court without serious repercussions. That's a slap on the wrist for someone who's repeatedly lost control during games. Meanwhile, other players have faced stricter consequences for far less. Fans, coaches, and analysts are starting to take notice. There's mounting frustration around officiating and disciplinary double standards. When your so-called franchise star is publicly saying the team is tired of getting cussed out by coaches, it doesn't just reflect individual immaturity, it exposes deeper dysfunction within the organization. The Chicago Sky aren't just battling opponents on the court. They're fighting culture issues, leadership gaps, and the fallout of a league struggling to enforce its own standards fairly. And amid all of it, Angel Reese's rise feels more chaotic than historic Clipboard incident wasn't just disrespectful to Coach Crosby, it was damaging to team morale and chemistry. Young players on the roster see their veteran leader disrespecting coaching staff and think that kind of behavior is acceptable. It creates a toxic culture that undermines the entire organization's efforts to build something sustainable. Every single time anyone goes hard fails Angel Reese or goes near Angel Reese, she squares up to them. And I mean it like I don't care, I don't. By the way, I don't care about this. I don't care about standing up for teammates. I don't care about standing up for yourself. You know what? I'm okay. I don't even care if she gets suspension, you know? What? So be it. So be it. But like they're obvious technical fouls. She got swatted by Maria Klindakova yesterday and just squared up to her. Like she just gets into it with every